going to give this sump a final rinse with brake cleaner. I have previously cleaned it again, but this is just in case I've touched with oil. I mean, it's not super critical, but we just want to do a good job. Now, that's that. In the next step, we're gonna open this brand new genuine BMW gasket. And we're going to place it on the sump. There's only one way you can install this, so don't over worry about it. And if you're like myself and you want to do a nice and neat, tidy job, what I will suggest is get yourself 2 cable ties, unless you have an engine stand. If you have an engine stand, you can flip the engine upside down. Now, I do have an engine stand, as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, but this engine is a little bit awkward, and I couldn't install it, and I didn't want to bother to adapt a new plate, and I decided to just work on my engine crane, which has done a pretty decent job. So you want to tighten your gasket in place, and as you can see, once you install this gasket, if you try and remove it, it's going to break and tear, so you're not going to be able to reuse it. And as I said to you, there is one place between the timing chain cover and the engine block where we're going to apply a thin bead of silicone. And now this really, just give it a good blast with the airline. I'm going to do that off camera, just to make sure there's no dirt, debris or anything in this sump. And then we're going to install it on the engine block, and we're going to attach it to the timing cover. So let's get started. So just before we install the sump, I'm going to show you where we are going to be applying a thin bead of silicone. And this is going to be exactly where timing chain cover and the block meet. Now it's about time to cut the cable ties after we've installed the feed bolts. I've just rotated the engine so it's a bit more comfortable to work on and record at the same time. So what you want to do is, after you cut your cable ties, once you put 3 or 4 bolts, your gasket will be perfectly aligned, and start installing your bolts by hand. I repeat, don't use any impacts or any drills, just start it by hand, and then you can help yourself maybe with a drill driver, but certainly do not use impact on these aluminium sumps. Now you've got 2 long bolts on the other side, at the side of the timing chain cover. We're gonna leave these until the end. I'm gonna snug these bolts by hand, and then we're gonna apply the correct torque to these. just before we proceed with the tightening of all the sump bolts, you want to place a straight edge, and you've got about 1 millimeter of misalignment here, so you want to align the sump and the block or the timing chain cover to be flush, because when you're installing the gearbox you want everything to be nice and flush. So I'm gonna get my mallet, I'm gonna tap it in place, and then I'm gonna check again. So I'm just gonna give it a gentle tap. This is looking a bit better. And now we're gonna go and tighten all the bolts in cross pattern at 24 Newton meters. So we're gonna start somewhere in the middle, and then we're gonna go to each side. So I'm gonna do this one first. The sump is fully tightened up now to 24 Newton meters each bolt. So hopefully enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one.